Okay, so how's everybody doing tonight? Everybody doing well? I agree. Yes. Let me start off by introducing myself and welcoming you. My name is Michael Goldsville. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Secondary Education here in Roslyn. And I'd like to welcome you to the 2019 pitch night for Incubator EDU RHS. Carol Murphy, the assistant principal to my right. Yes.
Welcome again. We are so excited to have finally reached this point this year. The Incubator program is in 119 schools across the country, including Mexico. We could not have embraced this wonderful program without the wonderful support of the Board of Education and Central Administration. Our kids have learned skills that they will take throughout their lifetime, 21st century skills of communication, collaboration, and critical thinking.
So let me take you back to about a year and a half ago when this idea and these conversations started to happen. And there was immediate buy-in and excitement, but it took a lot of conversation to find the perfect curriculum to match the enthusiasm of the teachers in our building and the students in our building. As Carol just said, please understand, without our volunteers, this would not be possible. So I would like to take a minute. If all of the mentors that are here tonight, please stand up. Also, along with the mentors, we had coaches. Coaches came into the classrooms. Are any of those people here tonight that were coaches and helped us? Please stand up. Please stand up. And next, and I would say incredibly important, is our community champion. And this individual, this man among men, this gentleman really spent an incredible amount of time and effort working with Ms. Murphy and with Ms. DiPietro to ensure that this experience would be what it has been for our first year of many years. Jason Garmaz.
Next, and most importantly, I'd like to introduce the Woman of the Hour, the Woman of the Year, the greatest Incubator teacher, Ms. Jen DiPietro. Has spent not only countless hours working with the kids, but coordinating the mentors, the coaches, the board of advisors, and working with the community champion and myself. She has genuine enthusiasm, unwavering commitment to this program like none other, and she's going to talk to you now about the kids and what they've done this year.
So we have 10 amazing teams, and we're so proud of how far they've come, and they've started their own startup companies this year. This year they learned how to pitch, they learned how to fail fast, and they learned how to give and receive feedback, which we know is hard for anybody to do. We're so proud how they unified and how much they've grown and how they took an idea and turned it into a business this year. We also want to thank the parents and the family who were so supportive through this process, whether it was listening to your children pitch to you, participating in MVP tests, or just driving your kids to mentor meetings. It really helped us out a lot. This really was a community effort. So we're going to start off by going to our shops now. I just want to start with Jason Garmaz, our community champion, and they're going to introduce you.
One more round of applause for Jen, please. My name is Jason Garmaz. As I mentioned, I'm the community champion, which means I, from the beginning, have helped to coordinate mostly the efforts with all of the volunteers. And that sounds like a big job, but really the biggest job was people who were coming in, volunteering their time, and sitting down with the kids and really making this an interactive process. Just an amazing curriculum. You'll see it really all play out here. In the outside world, I'm a private investor, and I get involved with companies where I get really involved with management and strategy from sort of the ground up.
Brett Flegler, private equity investor in the healthcare space.
Lindsay Rubin, I'm CFO of a media company. We're responsible for producing shows like Impractical Jokers. I'm sure a few of you have heard of them.
I'm Chandra. I'm a technologist with experience in telecommunications and IoT. I know these kids have done an amazing job because that's what I had to do to pitch to my executive team, and it's really, really hard. So they've done an amazing job.
Scott Finkelstein, I'm a Roslyn alum and started a software company in the auction industry about 12 years ago, and thrilled to be able to help give back and help these kids with their projects, and they've done really an incredible job. Hats off to all of them.
Vanilla Kim. Over the last 20 years, I have founded, built, grow, and sold 3 businesses in the past, and currently I'm investing in 2 businesses, one in the startup industry. Thank you.
John Schechter, used to be a corporate attorney, now I run the capital markets group, and had a great time working with you this year.
Many of our students also came in several times through the year and helped out our students as well, along with coaches and mentors, and it's just been totally fabulous. Some incubator kids over in the corner, can you come over and join us over here? I know you stuck in. Come on over. Okay, there's plenty of room if anyone wants to come in, there's still some seats. But it turns out, oh, let me come over first. Okay, so we have our agenda. Zoot is going to be our first team to go up, but it turns out our PwC auditors have already figured out and tallied the votes. So we're very excited to have our auditor coming to the front. Let's give her some love, Ms. Kaufman, Executive Advisor. I'm like actually nervous. All right, let's come sing. You guys ready? And the people's choice goes to Focus In. Go get yourself. Hello?
Hi.
Testing.
Sounds good.
I'm really loud enough. Alright, so figure it out. Okay, so our first team to go has been we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Alright, awesome. So our first team to go is Zoot Tutoring. Let's give them a clap.
to be here.
Mr. Nabavi, can I please get an extension for the test tomorrow? I don't understand anything and it's so hard to find a tutor last minute.
I told you a million times. I cannot get an extension.
It's impossible. All the good tutors are booked up, not to mention their high prices are hard on my wallet. Just change your mind?
Look.
Sorry, the apple isn't going to cut it this time.
Unfortunately, Noah's right. The apple is not going to cut it this time. But what would is Zooch tutoring. Good evening, Sharks. My name is Julian Alzada.
I'm Noah Cashman.
I'm Ariel Nabavi.
And I'm Ethan Rosenfeld.
And we are Zooch Tutoring, the new tutoring company taking on the tutoring industry. This is tutoring on demand. So now, we know what you're thinking from this. This app looks just like Uber, and actually, that's the point. We like to call our tutoring app the Uber for tutors. So now, say it's 3 p.m., and I'm looking for a tutor for 8 p.m. today, because I have a math test tomorrow that I'm not prepared for. I simply log into the app, input my location, and the subject I need help with, and all these nearby tutors come up, and I can pick the one that matches my price point and the subject that I need help with. Or maybe I'm a student and I'm in honors and AP classes, and I'm looking to tutor because I need some extra cash. Because honestly, sometimes those babysitting jobs just aren't so reliable. I can become a tutor just as easily. Or if I'm a tutor that's having a tough time finding some clients, I can go on Zooch. Or if I'm a teacher looking to tutor after school, I can go on Zooch.
The situation you all witnessed earlier is one that thousands of students across America have to deal with on a daily basis. And it's one that clearly exemplifies all the problems that are involved within tutoring. And these problems, like with most problems in the world, start with money. I'm sure most people in this auditorium have close experience with really expensive tutoring. I know I have, especially with ACT, SAT tutors who go from $150 to $200 an hour. The next problem with tutoring is ineffective tutors. You can spend all the money in the world, and eventually you're going to have to deal with one tutor that just doesn't help. And having to cut ties with that tutor can be one awkward conversation to have. And finally, we have unstable scheduling. Odds are, if you think a tutor is good and effective, there's going to be 100 other students who feel the same exact way. And that means that tutor is going to have a fully booked schedule, which also means you're going to have trouble finding time to schedule a class with them.
So this is where Zooch comes in to combat those problems. First, with the high cost. The fact that we allow for student tutors puts them at a lower price point, making them a more affordable option. This is what also more or less makes our price caps. We determine price caps based on merit and age. So if I'm a student and my real experience are just my honors class and my APs, I'm capped at $50. These price caps are meant to make sure that no tutor is overcharging. Or what if I'm a professor or a teacher and I have a lot of experience? I'm capped at $125 a session. We also make sure that we have quality tutors. Zooch tutoring makes sure that every student rates and reviews their tutor after every session. Tutors can build up a profile on Zooch. And we also prioritize safety. We want to make sure that no strangers coming into your house with bad intentions. This is why every Zooch tutor this is why we provide extensive background checks on every Zooch tutor before they are allowed to enter our system. We also combat the unstable scheduling because we make sure that Zooch allows for you to be able to schedule a tutor within a couple of hours notice. And we also provide a wide variety of tutors, all ages and all backgrounds.
We are currently taking 30% from our tutors. Now, this may seem steep. However, two major companies, Uber and Lyft, took 40 to 50% from their tutors in their first 3 years.
Now we know what you're worried about. What's stopping those backdoor deals from happening? What's stopping a tutor from building a good relationship with a student and just starting to have sessions without having that third party come in and take a percentage? We found solutions to this problem. First, we lowered our percentage. Yesterday we came to you saying that we were going to take 40% of the tutor's revenue. We lowered that down to 30%.
We're also very excited to introduce to you today the all-new Zooch badge system. With this system, a tutor can become more financially and socially appealing to a tutor. First, we become financially appealing, and that's because the more customers that you bring in, the more you get off, the less of a percentage that we take. For example, if I've completed my 100th Zooch tutoring session, now instead of 30% being taken away from my revenue, only 25% is being taken off. After my second 100 tutor sessions completed, I've earned my silver badge, and now only 20% is being taken off. And my gold badge, only 15% is being taken off. So this is an incentive for me to keep bringing in more customers. And with those badges comes your greater reputation. If I'm a student, my reputation is really just coming from the classes I take. I'm not able to show that I have any degrees or teaching experience. If I can show that I have a gold badge and that I've completed 300 tutoring sessions, I can show that I can provide a student with a valuable last-minute review that they might need. And we still have a pre-existing incentive for the student. We have created a streak system so that students who have scheduled consecutive sessions with Zooch start to get discounts, and those discounts come from our pocket and our marketing funds.
So over here we have Marcus. Marcus is an example of an ineffective tutor. Based off of his reviews, he has been rated 3 out of 5 stars. In the middle here we have Sue. Sue is an example of an ideal tutor for Zooch. She's been rated 5 out of 5 stars, and she has even earned her gold badge, giving her 15% off of our 30%. So for our MVPs, students were able to sign up through our website for student tutoring coordinated through the World Language Honor Society. From this, we gathered valuable data based off of our customer support and our automatic tutor scheduling.
Now this test was completely data-driven, so that's exactly what we did. We gathered some data. And we saw success from the very start. From our first time, Sadie G, a freshman at our school, she wanted Spanish tutoring, and after her session, she came up to Noah in the hallway and said that she got a 98 on her next Spanish test. If that's not a prime indicator of success, I don't know what is. We also had Jessica McHugh, an unanticipated impact. She's also here in the crowd today. She's a marketing specialist that came to our Incubator class months ago and reached out to us mentioning that she wants an Italian tutor for her son who's in the middle school so he can do well on his upcoming Italian final. With that said, we have 6 scheduled tutor sessions for her son Liam this upcoming June.
Over the course of the next 3 years, we plan to have a negative net income in our first year, break even in our second year, and have a positive net income in our third year. So how did we get these numbers? Well, we have no cost of goods sold. And our startup costs mainly consist of intellectual property protection, computers for development, and app development. And our SG&A costs mainly consist of app development and maintenance for use. So our total addressable market is around $20 billion. This is assuming that 27 million students in the United States want to tutor. Our serviceable addressable market is around $2 billion. This is assuming that 2.7 million students in New York want to tutor.
Zooch's various competitors all work towards one main goal, which is tutoring the people of the world. And we learn from our competitors. And you know what? Having competitors isn't always a bad thing. What we take out from having 3 competitors in our market is that it's a viable market that people like using, and that our product and our service has an advantage in the world. Our 3 competitors are QuickTutor, Chegg, and YZ. We're unique from these 3 competitors because A, we are academically centered, which means that our tutors go over the main school subjects like social studies and mathematics, rather than when we actually download QuickTutor, and I kid you all not, they actually had a tutor for dating and they had a tutor for archery. We're different from Chegg and YZ because they're both websites and we're a mobile app, and in order to schedule a tutor for these 2 services, it would take a matter of a few days in advance rather than Zooch, which is a matter of a few hours in advance. Our target customer is incredibly important to Zooch. This is because these are the people who are going to be downloading and using our service in the future. Our target customer and our customer segment is split into 3 very distinct groups: the parents, the tutors, and of course, the students. Starting with the tutors will obviously be using our app to look for clients and to get easy access to our full list of clientele. Our parents, because like we mentioned earlier, it's going to be the parents who are going to be paying for the tutors, not the students. And finally, we have our students, who are our most important target customer, because they have 2 primary functions within Zooch. Their first function is to actually get a tutor, because most students like me actually need some help in some subjects. And their second function is to be a tutor themselves. These other students are proficient in certain topics enough to actually help other students for a more affordable price. Now we're talking about why our location for launch here in New York is so significant for the development and eventual success of Zooch students. First of all, New York State is the #1 ranked out of all schools and out of all states in the U.S. for student spending per district. As seen in this map, New York is the darkest shade of blue out of any other state in this map, which means that it's 33% above the national average for student spending. This means that New Yorkers and Long Islanders here in New York really are financially motivated into their own academic success. The next reason for why New York is so ideal for our launch is Long Island. When we did a Google Trends research, we actually searched the keyword for tutoring, and we were glad to find that New York and Long Island specifically were actually ranked #1 for the Google search tutoring. Now, even though we have the most ideal location for launch, which is New York, we're still going to have to go out there and we're still going to have to look for and find some people to come and recruit for our service. And those people are, of course, the teachers, the students, and the parents. We're going to go and we're going to try and recruit some parents by using Facebook. As many of you in the audience probably know, there are multiple Facebook groups, and I mean multiple Facebook groups, for Rosalind moms and dads, Jericho moms and dads. I could go on for hours, but and we hope to use that Facebook group and those Facebook groups to actually market our service, because like we said many times earlier, it's the parents who are paying for the services for their children. Next to the students themselves, we hope to sponsor some student-run clubs in schools, just like DECA and Quiz Bowl and Debate, and once again, I could go on. And finally, we have our teachers. We hope to reach our teacher demographic by accessing teacher unions, and by meeting with teacher unions to see how we can appeal to the teachers themselves.
Today we are asking for $190,000. This money will mainly go towards app development and maintenance, marketing, and a liquidity cushion of $50,000.
Zooch Tutoring is prepared to offer 15% ownership in exchange for your roughly $190,000 investment. We got these numbers through our post-money valuation of $1.3 million.
So what's up next for Zooch? So starting in June, we'll begin to develop our app, and then continuing on to July, we'll further develop our app through extensive market research. And then in August, we will open our beta to both students and tutors. And then finally, in September, we have our first initial app launch of the Zooch Tutoring App.
Our exit strategy is to take place in 5 to 10 years, depending on the current state of our company. If we do choose to sell our company, we would obviously target a large-scale education-based company, just like Edmodo, or just like Quizlet, and of course, just like Google, because of their new program, Google Classroom. Google Classroom is our primary target because they have experience purchasing education-based startups in the past.
Before we conclude, we just want to take this time to thank the people who gotten us where we are today. We're 4 people standing on stage, but I guarantee you, the Zooch team is a lot bigger than that. First, our 2 mentors, Kara and London. Kara's with us here today. They've guided us. All the FaceTime calls, the emails, and the texts in September, we couldn't have done it without you. And Ms. DiPietro, our advisor, who has guided us through our ups and downs. The Zooch team would not be the same with all of you.
Now I'd like to take this moment to thank all the great sharks that we have here on the panel today. You definitely donated your valuable time and you helped guide us through this crazy tough process of creating a startup company. Now I'd like to open up the floor to any questions that you might have at the moment. Yes?
First of all, guys, great job. I'm sure you didn't get much sleep last night, and we got a bunch of comments, and you did a great job at integrating them. I was really pleased with that.
Thank you.
So we're sitting here in 2019, and you guys are offering a physical, in-person tutoring service. And I'm wondering, how come you guys didn't choose to do sort of a Khan Academy, where people could meet via Google Hangout and other ways to do this in a virtual manner, and you may have had less issues with people going around tutors and other things as well.
Great. First of all, that's a fantastic question, so thank you so much. We actually did think about that a lot, but we are all high school students here, and we've all tried everything to get our grades up, because you know how high pressure school is nowadays. So we've tried those Khan Academy lessons, and we've tried those virtual FaceTimes with tutors, and you know what? It's just not the real thing. Nowadays, everyone's stuck, their eyes are glued to their iPads, everyone's stuck with electronics, and there's so many distractions around you. You could go play games, you could talk to Siri, I guess, if you're lonely, you could do anything. And when you're up close and personal with a tutor, you really have that human interaction, and it's honestly, it's one of those last industries that human interaction, in my opinion, is really necessary. Thank you for asking me.
All right. So let me, I want to jump in quickly. Let's take a step back for a minute. Congratulations. You guys were the first ones to go tonight. Your presentation was incredibly tight. You had some tech glitches, which we know that 90% of the time that's going to happen. You rolled with it, and you guys took a ton of feedback from yesterday and incorporated it into this presentation. Excellent job with that, really, fantastic. So I do have a question, and I wrote it down here because I wanted to have it right in front of me. So what evidence have you uncovered that has increased your conviction that your solution is viable, because you seemed incredibly passionate about this?
So before we actually decided that we want to 100% stick with Zooch, we conducted so many tests. And part of those were the solution interviews and the problem interviews. So we had about 100 problem interviews, about 100 solution interviews, asking people would they use this app, do they find that this is the problem, and all of them agreed. I mean, really the reason why we felt kind of so connected to this is because we all felt that stress last minute, and we know that the problem is there. And we felt it ourselves, and we heard about it. It was really just all around us, and we just found a solution for it.
I also do want to add, back in our presentation, we did have the competition slide. And like I said, there is a silver lining to having competition, because it does show that if they are successful, then your market is viable, because people are using these products also. So as long as you are unique, that means that you would most likely succeed at the service as well.
Thank you. Great answer.
Guys, outstanding job, and I do want to reiterate, even though we've all said it, the fact that you incorporated our comments from yesterday, which is, 24 hours ago, into your presentation, not just the actual presentation, into your sort of your deep thinking about the business is fantastic. Congratulations. Thank you. Well, one of the big changes you made overnight is your percentage that you paid out to tutors. In entrepreneurship, that can be seen as a pivot. And I know that you guys, actually everybody, has had to pivot probably 2 or 3 different times throughout the course of this class. Can you give us a little bit of an understanding about maybe your biggest pivot, what caused it, and what you learned from it?
So actually, our biggest pivot was that we wanted to combat those backdoor deals. And we are actually really confident in the fact that we were lowering the percentage, because essentially, if that's going to bring in more tutors, that's going to bring in more students, and that's going to bring in more revenue just flowing through the company. I know we were even thinking about, is it really worth it to lower the percentage that we're taking from the tutor just so they can get that badge? Well, yeah, because maybe we're now only taking 15%. That's 15% for a tutor who's valuable enough to bring in 300 students and complete 300 sessions.
And also another pivot that way is regarding the financials you just said. We were trying to pick our prior pivot before that was we were actually discovered that QuickTutor was another mobile app. Because before that, our thinking about our competition was actually that it was just Chegg and it was just Wizen, which are just 2 completely different website-based long-term tutor services. So when actually Jillian was scrolling through Instagram, she found an ad. So I guess Google targets us with ads now that we're all searching for tutors. So she found an ad about QuickTutor, and we were like, okay, we have to just drop everything. We have to change our whole idea. Maybe we'll go into innovating how we take out garbage. Like we weren't doing tutoring anymore. We were starting.
It's a garbage idea.
And then we realized, wait a second, there's one thing that none of these competitors have, and that's students tutoring other students. And even though I know some students who are smarter than many adults, and you could cut that price effectively in half, which will bring in a lot more customers into our tutoring.
Yeah.
Again, great job incorporating.
Thanks.
So I want to follow up on have you spoken to teachers and potential tutors to see if they'd be willing to pay that sort of transaction fee? Because when I look at it, if I'm a teacher and I'm charging $100 an hour, if you're taking 30% from me initially, I could teach 2 people instead of having to spend 3 hours making the same amount. So I'm wondering what sort of reaction you've received from teachers. If any.
I do have one thing to respond about that. Actually, Ms. DiPietro was a part of our group of teachers that we interviewed for our solution interviews, and she brought up a good point about tutors tend to find the most clients near their school rather than near their house. So we realized that, hold on a second, so if we provide them with a whole list of clientele, and we make that clientele located where they are at the current moment, then that means that they have a full schedule for that day of tutors to go to, and they won't have to take that hour commute to their house and back to go find this tutoring session. So that is appealing enough to have these teachers give up 30% or 25 or 15%, because it just improves the current state of where tutoring is at.
And just as a follow-up, so have you considered any sort of incentives for the students, so you create some sort of customer loyalty on the student side?
Right, so that was the streak system that we mentioned earlier. So if you schedule a certain amount of consistent tutor sessions, we start to discount those sessions that comes out of our pocket, and that's part of our marketing funds.
So if I was tutoring Ethan for every Monday for 5 or 6 weeks, okay, let's just say 5 weeks. I was tutoring Ethan for every Monday for 5 weeks. We would get a notification on the Zoom chat saying, congratulations, you've earned your first streak, now you have 5% off. Same thing for 10 weeks in a row. Every Monday for 10 weeks, congratulations, you now have 10% off, just for the student, for however long it gets. Because like we said with the badge system, even though we are giving up 10% more of the amount that we're taking, they're still bringing in once a week of cash flow, which is a lot, and we have to reward the tutors and the customers, the clients for that.
Hey, that's huge, so thank you for scouting. So let's hear some. Okay. Our next group to the floor is so our next group that we want to make sure to give a warm welcome to, who worked so hard as well, is EpiPal.
My best friend.
My younger twin sisters. My cousin.
My brother.
My brother.
So these are all people who we really know greatly and we love and care about, but unfortunately they all suffer from systemic allergies. Now, throughout this whole process and this whole year, we've been working on creating a product and a solution in order to help eliminate their worries that come along with having an anaphylactic allergy. Hello, my name is Jake Lipbeck and I'm a co-founder of EpiPal. EpiPal is a Bluetooth device in which you attach onto your EpiPen in order to further ensure your safety. The way EpiPal works is the Bluetooth piece on your EpiPen will work in sync with an app on your phone in order to alert both emergency services and your emergency contacts as soon as your EpiPen is used. EpiPal is a backup plan as well as a safety net to the already existing EpiPen, and just further extends and ensures the immediate safety of you and or your loved ones.
Hello, my name is Jeff Minow.
I'm Jordan Sylvie.
I'm Matthew Koo.
Jake Lipback. I'm Sarah Faber.
And I'm Benjamin Hogan.
We are EpiPal.
So before we start, I'd like to ask a couple questions for you guys. So how many of you are familiar with the app Life 360? Please raise your hand.
Now keep your hands raised if you're constantly worrying about a child. Now again, please keep your hands raised if you are somebody who has an allergy, knows somebody who has an allergy, or has a child who has an allergy. Perfect. So you guys are basically our target customers, our customer segment. So we want to get into a little bit of who we are as EpiPal.
So just in 2015 alone, 3.6 million Americans were prescribed with an EpiPen, and that number is continuing to rise as the years go on. 1 in every 13 children have an anaphylactic allergy, which is basically, put into perspective, 2 in every single classroom. And the main issue that we see is that there is absolutely zero communication between the EpiPen itself and the mobile devices we today have become so dependent upon. So our solution is to create a Bluetooth chip which connects our EpiPen to these mobile devices, which when the EpiPen goes off, the mobile device will get an alert and you will know exactly that the EpiPen has been used, where it's been used, and the ambulance will be called in order to go help who's in need.
So we know this is a little hard to visualize, so we drew it out. this is what EpiPen would look like. And basically, that little piece, you're going to attach yourself right there, and as soon as you take off the cap, the breakable seal is going to break and immediately send those waves to your phone in order to alert your parents and medical services and give them your location. Same thing, you'll also be able to work compatible with the OmniQ and it'll work in the same way.
So our customer segment includes parents of children with severe or systemic allergies and children with systemic allergies. However, we are not targeting children who don't have iPhones or cellular devices because those children are usually with a trusted adult and will not need the alert to go out from their iPhone. So our pricing and revenue streams includes a transaction-based model, which is a $40 transaction fee per unit of the device, plus a subscription fee, which is monthly of 99 cents.
So in order to calculate a total addressable market, we took about the total population of America, of the United States, which was just under 330 million people, and we multiplied that by statistics saying that between 1 in 20 and 1 in 50 people suffer from anaphylactic allergies, so we did the benefit down, multiplied that by 1 in 35. Which gave us multiplied that by 2%, which gave us a total amount of reachable customers in our total addressable market to be just over 9 million. When we multiplied that by our unit price, we got total addressable market of about $377 million.
So for our serviceable addressable market, we've narrowed it down to a more resourceful market. So there are about 7.5 million people in Long Island, and 1 out of every 35 people have a systemic allergy. Therefore, that leaves about 220,000 people in Long Island who also have a systemic allergy. And if you multiply that by our unit price, which is about $40, you get our serviceable addressable market, which is about $9 million.
So going off of what Jet said, we took out of the 200,000 total customers that we can attend to, we assumed that only 20,000 would actually be interested in our product. We then figured that about 5% of the 20,000 would actually buy the product, leaving us with about 1,000 target customers, multiplied by our unit price per device, which would give us a market share of about $40,000. So the results of our MVP, after doing a lot of testing, for interviews with the PFA members, we went to youth hockey games and interviewed parents. We talked to people in the school with systemic allergies, and we came across the overall consensus that our product would make a large impact on the health industry today, that parents would trust our product, and that they would be willing to pay $40 to $45 for our device. So here's our website, which is also part of our MVP test. We gave this out to a lot of the members of the PFA, plus people in our school, and asked them to sign up if they wanted to learn more about our app and our product.
While EpiPal has no direct competitors, we actually have 3 indirect competitors. Buy My Friends and Life360 both offer location tracking services for people. EpiPal offers a location tracking service for the EpiPen. And then the health app on the iPhone allows space to store medical information, and EpiPal has space for the users to enter what their allergies are and their medical information as well. What's unique about EpiPal is that everything's done for you. There's an initial notification that will pop up on the user's device asking if this is an emergency or not, just to make sure. And once that notification is answered, everything else is done for the user.
So we have and are still continuing to expose our product on multiple different platforms. So we're putting flyers in doctor's offices, allergist offices, and across the town. We have an up and running Instagram, we have a beautiful website, and we also have a Facebook. And hopefully we'll be getting our product to retailers like CVS, Target, Walgreens, and etc.
Now, after closely going over our numbers, we realized that our year 1 revenue will come out to about $86,000, our year 2 to about $102,000, and year 3 to about $132,000. How we got those numbers is from year 1 to year 2, we went up to about 20% growth rate, and from year 2 to year 3, we went up to about 30% growth rate. For our gross profit, year 1, we sold about $68,000, year 2 about $84,000, and year 3 about $114,000. And then how we found those numbers is we took our revenue, subtract from our cost of goods sold, which our cost of goods sold was about $18,000. And then for our net income, our year 1 was about $17,000, year 2 was about 24,000, and then about year 3 was about 37,000. And this just reiterates what I just said. As you can see, the numbers go up gradually throughout the 3 years.
Today, we are asking you for a total of $73,800. It costs $3,500 for a patent for our product, $30,000 for app development and design, $16,500 for marketing on platforms such as Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, a $5,000 liquidity cushion, $18,000 in COGS. It's $18 per unit for our product, and we are hoping to sell to about 1,000 people in our first year, and $800 for liability insurance.
So in exchange for $73,800, we're looking for 40% ownership based off of our post-money evaluation of roughly $147,200. And basically, why us? So we feel as if we can truly make an impact on the lives of many families and help keep people safe and do it as the best as we can. So we know that with your help, we can truly leave a major mark on the health industry. And even though we might just be 6 teenagers with an idea, we can help turn that idea with your help into a real reality and really do something with this.
For our exit strategy in the future, in about 10 years, we plan on selling EpiPal to a large medical company or a large medical retailer, such as AviQ, EpiPen, Pharma, CVS, and more.
Alright, so what's next for EpiPal? So we're going to plan on creating our first real product and bringing it to market, and also working with app developers and coders to really understand how we can get this to work.
So lastly, before we begin to wrap things up, we'd just like to give a big thank you to everyone for showing up today, especially all the Sharks. A big shout out to our mentor, Ms. Jessica Garmize, who's here with us today. She has helped us through the whole process. She's created a beautiful website and helped us along that way. She's helped us with all of our numbers, everything that we really struggled with. We met with her almost weekly, and she really did guide us through the process. And lastly, we'd like to thank Ms. DiPietro, because none of this would have been possible without her. Like, this whole class is an amazing experience, we could all say. We're all continuing it next year, all of us juniors, as in the Accelerator program. And without Ms. DiPietro, none of this would have been possible, so we just wanted to say thank you. And lastly, go ahead, follow us, give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, and if you have any questions, please feel free to GM us. And now, the floor is open to questions. Thank you.
Great job. I mean, you came up with a problem and a very scalable solution. Hello? Yeah, there we go. A really incredible job. So kudos to all of you. And you're really eloquent. You've obviously done your homework. You knew all of your metrics and your audience. And I'm just wondering, I see, you did a lot of research, and immediately I was wondering why you targeted like direct to consumer versus it's a great licensing tool to like pharma companies, and like have they explored any type of Bluetooth technology? Does pharma companies haven't explored this yet?
Okay, great question. We've done several research, because we were always concerned we had a direct competitor, and we've looked into like connecting technology. We've seen some stuff where like technology can like, if you take off a bandage, sometimes like in a hospital, like set off an alarm or something. There's really been nothing using Bluetooth like this, technology like this. And like you said about why we're trying not to go to the pharma companies is we're starting off small, we're a startup, but I think Jet mentioned before, it's really, that's an end goal for us, is to maybe get into the pharmaceutical companies like Pharma, CVS, right? And we'd love to get out there, but we want to start off small, maybe start by selling on our website. We want to start with the little things first.
Great job, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So my question for you is, can you talk a little bit about any research or conversations you've had with developers and hardware guys to understand the feasibility of the product?
Yeah, definitely. So we had a meeting with Mr. Lopez. He's a tech guy at our school. He showed us, he's here today. But yeah, he really helped. We wanted to know about feasibility for us also. And he really helped us. He showed us what pieces we would need. He said this is possible. We've also part of this program, we got to go on an amazing field trip to actually a P9 Designs. I don't know if that's correct. And it was a design lab for a lot of startups. And what we saw there, we actually saw technology just like this. It's called cup band technology. We reached out to them about it a little bit. But what the cup band technology was this is what I was talking about within the hospitals, is once the gram breaks, right, it sends off an alert. So that's really what we're looking to do, is create a breakable seal for the EpiPen and use that alert as a Bluetooth piece. But we've talked with Mr. Lopez. He says it should be able to work. We've got all the pieces. He showed us the pieces that we would need. It's going to take a little bit of coding, but that's where our app development and things like that are going to come into play with what we're asking for today.
Fast follow-up. You're with the alert. Have you thought about maybe adding sound so that way people in the immediate vicinity of those that person using the pen to have somebody help them?
Yes, of course. I don't think we made that clear enough. It's going to make a sound when it sends the alert out. It's going to be very loud. It's going to let everybody know immediately that there is a problem and there is danger going on, and just get immediate help and make sure everybody knows what's going on around them.
Almost like an Amber Alert, and you get that like high-pitched thing on your phone. We're gonna do something like that to make sure that everyone knows that it's like a medical emergency and like it must be coming to now. So that's what we try to do.
So I like that you took our advice yesterday that you should be asking for more money. We were actually only joking. But I'm kind of curious. So yesterday you asked for 50 and today is 73,800. So what would be the additional capital for?
Of course. So we talked to you guys yesterday, and some really good feedback you gave us was, first, we only put our startup costs in what we were asking for. We realized our startup's not really going to get us much if we don't have our cost of goods sold, and we're not getting ready to actually create the product and sell it out to users. So that was, Jordan explained, we'd have a market share of about 1,000. We're hoping to reach in year one, times 18 per unit, so that's going to be another $18,000. And then also you guys talked about liability, how if this thing doesn't, if this EpiPal fails to work with a certain customer, we added a general liability insurance in order to make sure that all that would be covered for and to keep us safe in that situation. And we also added a liquidity cushion to make sure this product runs smoothly first time around.
Great job in coming up with this idea. Love it. Also, I like that you guys took the feedback and comments from yesterday, implemented it today.
Thank you.
Assuming that you really get this investment, what's next? You have school, you have college coming up. Are you guys really going to do this?
Like we said, what's next right here? Ben explained it, I believe. What's next? We really, assuming we get this money, we plan on using it immediately for what we're asking for. We want to buy the pieces to the product in order to start creating it, but especially work with coders and app developers, make sure this all gets underway. I mean, we're excited. We're really hoping this can take off. We're passionate about the idea, but like we said, it's one step at a time. With the money, we'd be going one step at a time in order to actually try to get this product turned into reality instead of just an idea.
And also what's great is that 5 out of the 6 of us are juniors, so we have the accelerator class next year where we can all get together and continue to develop our ideas that we have, as we feel like we can really make this into a feasible thing. So next year we're going to work on that as well in the accelerator class, so that's where we're going to heading towards right now.
Thank you so much.
hands, please, of all the people in the room that are wearing glasses right now. All right, that's a lot of people. All right, now loved ones that are wearing glasses. People who have loved ones wearing glasses. All right, so the only reason we're up here today is because you guys picked us to be up here. That shows there's a widespread problem here. Keep in mind that this problem is so widespread when we're making this presentation. Hello, we are the International Visionary Corporation, and we're presenting our product, Focus In.
Hi, my name is Justin Freed.
I'm Noah Rosenthal. I'm Justin Kalman.
And I'm Johnny Cullen.
And we are Focus In.
Sharks. Have you realized that as you become older and older, it becomes harder and harder for you to see your phone from a close distance? Well, you're not alone. Over 800 million people throughout the world have the same exact problem. They can't see their phone clearly from a close distance without reading glasses. The other problem is for that those that are fortunate enough to have a pair of reading glasses wind up either losing or breaking them. Many people throughout the world spend a lot of money on multiple pairs of reading glasses, but when they need them, they can't find them. We've identified this worldwide problem, and we are here today to fix it. So, over the course of the year, we've interviewed 300 people, and we came up with 3 common problems that were stated to us. One was that customers wanted a cheap price for their for a cheap solution. On average, reading glasses cost $195. Our product costs only $5 per month after the first 3 months. Second, people wanted a safe, reliable second option just in case of an emergency and they don't have their glasses. Third, people wanted a more comfortable solution, so when they're lying in bed, their glasses don't push against their nose, giving them the discomfort and pain.
So this is where Focus In steps in. Our solution is to create an app-based product that takes the prescription from your glasses and puts it onto your phone screen. We do this by allowing you to adjust your prescription and your distance based on the customer. This takes away all annoying factors that glasses have and is a much more effective way for people to use their smartphones.
Here you can see our wireframe. So in this first screen over here, you see a text message screen. The messages are completely blurry. A lot of you are probably seeing this screen once you take off your glasses. You open up our app, you turn on our app, click the on button, you adjust these 2 sliders. The first slider is for your prescription level. You go up and down based on what is the most clear for you. And then our second slider is the distance slider. So depending on how far you're looking at your phone, you adjust the distance to make the best level for you to look at your phone at. And then over here, you see after you turn on our app, you get this clear phone screen. The letters aren't too big for you, they stay the same size. It's convenient for the customer and you're able to see the messages without needing to wear your glasses.
So with our product, we are targeting people within the ages of 40 and 65 years old. Within those ages, we are also targeting people who are farsighted and are casual eyeglass wearers. That means that people who wear their glasses not every day on an everyday basis. Now, to address our market, we began by finding that 1.2 billion people have a smartphone and have glasses. To narrow it down even further, we found out that 70% of people are farsighted and 4.27% of the people live in the U.S. compared to the world, giving us a total addressable market of about 36 million. Now, since we are a small company, there's only a small amount of people that we can actually service. So taking the number from the total addressable market, we found out that 5.9% of people of the total addressable market actually live in New York, and 61% of those people use their glasses primarily for reading, and 32% of those people are within the age group of 40 to 65, giving us a serviceable addressable market of approximately 418,000. Now, reiterating again that we are a small startup company, so there's only a small percentage of people that we can actually reach out to. So we found out that we have a market share percentage of approximately 10.76% and a market share revenue of approximately $5.4 million.
With this being such a widespread problem, there's going to be competitors throughout the market looking to solve the same problem. But there's really nobody out there doing the same exact thing that we're doing, trying to make the phone screen clear without actually adjusting the size of the letters or like what your eyes are actually doing. So the top 2 competitors are magnifying glass apps and the feature on smartphones where you can adjust the size of the text on your phone. But after conducting our solution interviews, we found that these two methods were completely inefficient for the customer. They don't like to be able to only see like 2 phones. And once you enlarge the letters, you can read maybe 1 or 2 words at a time before having to scroll down. That's completely inconvenient for the customer, and the customer's looking for a better way to view their text messages. And here on the bottom, we have 3 different ways of viewing, of adjusting your eyes. So this first one over here, you train your eyes. The customers don't want to have to actually strain their eyes to be able to view their phone. And then these next 2 are just completely inconvenient for the customer. And we step in as a way, an efficient and convenient solution so that you can look at your phone without needing to wear your glasses.
So, what makes us this red apple out of all these green apples? Well, our unique value proposition is that with our product, you do not have to put any extra glassware to your phone. There's no extra glass or anything that will make your phone different in any way. Also, the customer has the opportunity to turn on and off the product whenever they would like. Finally, the customer... We plan to directly distribute our app in the App Store for 99 cents for the first 3 months to lure the customers in, and $5 a month after that. So the way that we're going to get this product out there, or how we have already, is that we're using our social media, which we have been recently updating almost every day. We have given out over 200 business cards already, and we have a constant list of 65 people that we're always sending messages to.
So to test our MVP, we started off with the question that many of you probably have also. So this app sounds good, but is it really possible? So to combat this problem for our MVP test, we contacted 6 app developers throughout the community. So 4 of those app developers came back with a favorable solution, saying that they can go forward with creating the technology, and they look to be on board with helping us create this app. One of them wasn't really sure, they didn't have much information in development, and one of them said that they didn't think it was possible, but gave us some good insight into what we would be doing. And this is where we were able to learn from what they told us, and we actually switched over to Android instead of iOS to start off, because the iOS systems, as we were told, were way too complicated and difficult to get into. They don't like you really messing with your system to see your phone. So going into Android, it's a much more loose system where we would be able to play with the settings and be able to adjust the technology so we can enter in our app and actually change the visuals that you're seeing on your phone. And we also made a pricing change once after MVP testing. After conducting more interviews, we found that a $5 a month price instead of $10 was much more reasonable for our customers, because that would be a much more favorable solution for our customers, and we would be able to lure more customers in. We were able to generate an email list of 75 plus people after MVP testing, after talking to people at the Rosin Booster basketball games and at the PFA pitches. So we now have an email list where we continuously update different parents throughout the community about what we've been doing, what we're up to, and what we're at in our company. And we see that as a great way for free marketing for our company. So here are our COGS. So as a technological company, we don't have that many costs of goods sold because it's an app-based product. So our main cost is the fees taken by the App Store, which is 50%. So each $5 subscription that we sell, they would take away 50 cents of that, giving us a gross profit of 90%. And here are our financials. So as you can see over there, it's about $11,000 after year 1, but it'll rise exponentially to about $60,000 by the 3rd year, based on increasing numbers of customers. And you can see in our gross profit, we also go from about $10,000 to about $54,000 over that 3-year span, seeing a nice growth in our profits. And our net income, as you can see on the bottom, as a startup company, we would expect to be starting off in the red after the 1st year. We're making money after that 1st year, and even though it's not a large amount of money, it's good to be able to be in the green after that 1st year, and then use that to go forward with getting to $8,000 by our next year and $14,000 by the year after that, showing how we have a chance for great profit potential with this company. And this graph just shows you how over the 3-year span, your gross profit and your revenue steadily increase, with the net income staying at around an increase as well, showing how we have a lot of potential with funding in this company to create something great where we can increase our profits exponentially. And now, so what we're asking for tonight, so our total uses of capital to get going with this app. would be about $39,000, and this is a large sum of this is paying the app developer to actually create our product. So after talking to the 6 app developers in the market, we came up with an average of about $33,700 for how much it would cost to pay the app developer. So, and then we would have various advertising fees, fees to fix up the website, and legal fees, and that would factor into the uses of capital that we're presenting to you today.
So our capital asks in exchange for $39,000, you will be receiving 32.4% of our company, and this is based on a post-money valuation of approximately $120,000.
So our exit strategy is to sell after 5 years to one of these 3 eyeglassware companies: Cohen's Fashion Optical, Warby Parker, and Luxottica. So the reason these aren't technological companies, they're eyeglass companies, but this can be an additional source of revenue for these companies as a supplement to their glasses. So they're able to sell these glasses and then also have a way for their customers to view their phone without needing to wear their glasses. So they will give their customers 2 ways to view their phone, giving them 2 sources of revenue after purchasing our product.
To keep in contact with Focus In and see what we're up to, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
And thank you. Before we end, we just wanted to go over what we would use after being funded. So if we were funded, we would be able to contact the app developers, actually choose an app developer, and then go forward with research and development to be able to create our product, and go forward with actually working with the app developer to get the app on the market and get it to customers as quickly as possible. Right now, thank you. And we would like to thank our mentor and Ms. DiPietro for all the help that we've received this year, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to pitch to them.
I was just curious, on your competitor that you showed where you have to train your eye on the screen, what's their pricing?
They had similar prices to us. They had $15 a month instead of $5 a month.
And then on your ask, I didn't say anything about any sort of IP protection. Do you plan on doing something along those lines? Is that what the $1,000 would be?
Yeah, that's part of our legal fees.
Great.
It's a great job, guys. Absolutely a product that's needed in the market. So my question is, for this to happen, can you talk a little bit about the technology that's needed?
Right. So with the funding, we'd be able to talk to the app developers in order to create the technology. That's why our ask is so high, because the $33,000 would go into research and development that the app developer would do to go to the market and to go into the Android systems and be able to create the technology needed to enter your prescription and have your phone screen adjusted to be able to see your phone.
Great job, guys. I'm wondering what your inspiration was for this company.
So we have one of our members actually wears glasses, Noah, and you can see he has like a little mark on his nose over here.
So I was thinking maybe it was one of your parents that was always doing this to their phone to read their text message really large. How do you plan, because this kind of is a geriatric problem, and how do you plan to market? What's your marketing strategy to that audience segment?
Right, so we set up various social media sites, but our target market is ages 40 to 65. So we were looking to maybe go into services like AARP or services, like services that people in our target market would look at, so that we can expand our outlook to those people in our market.
I guess quickly, one of the things that hung me up was the fact that we're probably originally cutting out about 40% of the market that use iOS devices. How do we get beyond that? Because if it's an investment product that 40% of the market is immediately eliminated, it's probably not the greatest investment. So I'm curious what we can do about that.
Right, so we were going to start off with Android with the initial development of our startup company, but then after seeing we can be successful in a product like Android, we can move over into the iOS system and show them what we can do. So like after using Android, we have more like we have more experience behind us, so we can go into iOS and mess with their system so that we can enter into the market and enter our technology into them.
And the last question is your slider.
Yeah.
Can a slider be precise enough? Because I know in eyeglass prescription there's a ton of different parameters.
Right.
I'm wondering why you don't have people like entering in their exact prescription parameters to create like their.
So we were going to do entering in your exact prescription, but it varies based on the distance you're looking at, and you use 2 different eyes, 2 different prescriptions. So we're going to have the slider. Basically, it's like a screen test. You just adjust, you go across, and whichever's the most clear for you, you leave it on that setting.
Hey guys.
Last question.
All right, last question, I'll go quickly. It's mostly a comment, which is just phenomenal job. And, you know, everybody should realize these guys are the people's choice, which means yesterday, just to put that in context, that means yesterday they sat in front of us and didn't make it through. And they kept fighting, came prepared today, convinced all of you guys that they were worthy of a shot on the stage, and I think they proved that out.
Well done.
Our next group is Elite Cleats, and one of our group members' birthday is today.
Let us transform your cleats. So imagine you're on the soccer field with all your friends, and you just won the biggest soccer game of your high school career. All you want to do is get up and go get pizza with your friends, but unfortunately, you can't. Before you do so, you have to take all your stuff, go back to the locker room, change out your cleats, put your sneakers on, bring your bag, and then you're ready to go. Now, this is such a hassle. What if today we had a solution? But before that, let's take a step back. What if you were to go out with your cleats, walk on the ground, go get some pizza? There are some consequences to go along with that. First, the cleanliness. You're dragging dirt all around, and we know if you go back to your parents' house with all that dirt, that's not going to end well. Also, the durability of your cleats. Everybody knows that cleats are metal, and walking on concrete cannot be good for them. We know that this issue can definitely be solved, and we want to prevent this from happening in the future. Next, we understand that safety is every parent's number one problem. They want to make sure that all the kids are safe, and walking on their cleats in concrete is definitely not the route to go. Slipping is a big issue, and there have been many issues that have happened because of this. Our company, Elite Cleats, has created their own product in order to create the solution to this issue. We've created a snap-on removable sole that goes into the bottom of your cleats in order to allow you to transform your cleats immediately into sneakers. So here is our initial prototype that we have sketched out. On the bottom, you can see a removable sole that we put right onto the bottom that allows you to act just like your sneakers. The gum rubber sole allows you to have traction to prevent slipping and also to protect any dirt from getting stuck on side. Our locking feature is just like a ski boot to give you that firm touch that you want, so it doesn't feel like you're lugging around some extra product on the bottom of your foot.
So as of right now, Elite Cleats has 0 direct competitors, but our 2 indirect competitors are slides and sneakers, and we see that a lot of the athletes tend to gravitate towards these 2 products. However, Elite Cleats
offers a much faster alternative to an athlete's post-game footwear because Elite Cleats is so unique in that all you have to do is snap, click, and walk. You don't have to worry about remembering to bring sneakers or slides with you to each game and to each practice. And so for our total addressable market, we had to find out how many total students there were in the United States, which is where we came up with around 75 million. Then from that, we had to figure out how many of those students actually play sports that require cleats. Then, with that number and our $19.99 retail price, we were then able to figure out our total addressable market revenue, which is approximately $109 million.
So our serviceable addressable market is that we took the 5.5 million customers and then we brought it to only Long Island and to 125,000 customers, which then we made out to approximately $2 million in revenue. Okay, so our minimum viable product, we surveyed our Roslyn School lacrosse team and we gave them a former competitor's product and we asked them what they would change. They said 67% of them said that they wanted more colors and styles, 50% of them wanted more ease of when putting it in, and then 33% subscribed to our email.
After taking multiple interviews from athletes and parents of athletes, we've come to notice that our problem, the problem that we did solve, is really like.
We've noticed that a lot of people in the community, like our parents and our student athletes, they really seem to gravitate towards our product. In fact, we're getting messages on our Instagram and our website and our Facebook asking when our product is actually coming out. And we kind of just make sure we keep in touch with these people every so often with our newsletters and our Instagram posts, make sure that our potential customers know that we are doing things to benefit our products and that someday we will have our products out in the market.
So our growth strategies is that to sell to our customers, we would use known websites such as Amazon, we would use known retailers, and we would use our own company website. And then to reach out to our customers, we would use social media, promotions, email chains, attending sports games and raffles, and also we would try to license with other high schools and getting our product well known. And then it brings up to our costs. So our startup costs we broke down into 5 separate categories: administrative costs, property, development, marketing, and salaries. We noticed that marketing was by far the most expensive cost in our startup costs. We found that to get a good product, we had to reach out to our target market. And total startup cost would be $40,000.
In the next 3 years, our gross revenues percent growth increase is at 278%, and our net income percent growth increase is 233%. So as a transaction business, retailing for $19.99 with a cost of goods sold of $6.30, our gross margin per unit is $13.69, which is a 317% gross margin. So counting our administrative and marketing costs, we've come down to $7,400 in our first year, which tells us that once we sell 543 units, we'll start actually making our net profit. After seeing our busy and slower seasons, we've come to a conclusion that once we sell 1,510 units, we will actually start making our net profit with the 967 ones that are going to be sold, with a net profit of $19,000.
So our ask is $40,000 for 49% equity in our company. The $40,000 would be used in an $8,000 liquidity cushion to be used to cover most of our startup costs and a $1,000 IP of design patent in Delaware.
So before we go on, we said 49% equity, and although that might seem a lot, and we're not asking for that much money, we understand that joining a startup is an extremely risky thing, and we know that just giving away this money isn't something that the normal person wants to do. 49% lets us control our company, but also have someone able to come in and really help our company for the better and allow us to grow in the long term.
So that brings us back to our prototype. It shows that the $40,000 will also be used to better our prototype and better our product for the future. We would add the lock-in and walk factor, the cushioning to soften up the seat and make it a more pleasant walk. The gum rubber sole fracture traction, so it's not only a cleat, it's an actual shoe net. And a safe material for the sole.
So now for our exit strategy. So if our company is as successful as we would like it to be, we would like to potentially sell it to companies like Dick's and Foot Locker. And then there's also those iconic companies like Adidas and Nike. And with that revenue and with the profit that we would be making from that, we would then reimburse our investor and then split the rest of the profit among the rest of the team.
So before we conclude, we'd just like to say a couple thank yous to people that have helped us along the way. First, Adam Haber, our mentor. He's been here for us all throughout the way. Taking time out of his day to meet with us, last minute, the day of, being able to meet with us really helped us figure out all the kinks throughout our problem, throughout our process, and it's really just made it a tremendous effort to help us out. Also, Misty Pietro, who, she's the mastermind of this whole situation. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be standing here today, and we can't give her enough thanks for everything she's done. Last but not least, the Sharks, as well as the audience, for coming today and being able to listen to us and allow us to explore our passion in business to give us the opportunities that we should have in our high school career. Thank you for everything, and we're now open to questions. So yeah, before we begin, one of our team members, Bob Erko, unfortunately can't be here today because he's at a track county event that he could not miss. So although he's not here, he actually is, doing something with cleats because he's building cleats while he's in his track competition. So he's going to have this issue, and everyone's going to be complaining about it while he's there. So although he's not here, he is here. Do not worry.
Great job, guys. And I think acknowledging that Laura's not here is really important because I think in many ways you guys have come together as a team, pitching in now, just from yesterday. It's a big change in kind of who had what roles. You guys picked it up on the fly. You incorporated a lot of changes that we gave you. So really great job in doing that. It shows a lot of teamwork. I know Laura's out doing market research and running, but great job. But on that same line of thinking, tell us a little bit about the MVP process and what you learned and pivoted from after seeing that.
So we actually went to one of the Roz and Girls Varsity lacrosse practices, and we spent about 30 minutes with them. We actually, with our MVP money, bought 2 pairs of our ex-competitors' products, and we allowed these girls to try it on because we thought about, our ex-competitors, they failed, so let's try to figure out not only why they failed, but how we can make our product better. So when we gave them these cleat skins, which is our ex-competitor, we kind of observed how they tried them on, and then they also filled out a survey right after. And so we were able to gain data about what they liked or what they didn't like and how we can improve upon that. And by receiving 20 different surveys, that really helped our data because we were all able to really analyze that and figure out, wow, maybe there really is a market out there for this type of product. And so maybe it's not such a bad thing that our ex-competitors failed because we can now improve on the mistakes that they made, and now we can make a product that's going to be better.
Well, love your PowerPoint presentation. You guys significantly put in a lot of work into your slides, your data, and all that, so great job. So I want to know, who will be your ideal investor and what type of background and experience you guys are looking for?
So our ideal investor would be someone who's already in the field, preferably someone that has a lot of knowledge about cleats, the sizing of the cleats, and different molds from company to company. So maybe not someone that works for Nike or Adidas, but somebody that might be in the creation field of actually creating these new cleats for all these companies in order to help us create the molds, in order to create the product that would be universal, not just for one sport, but be able to make one mold that would be able to fit soccer, football, and rugby, for example. So they could help us in this process, so not just to be there to throw money at us, but also give us valuable advice that would further help us grow as a company. Yes.
So really fast, on your use of proceeds slide, can you explain, I didn't see anything about using the capital you're asking today to actually build a product.
Can you go back to the other? So, as you can see, our development costs, as well as our plant property equipment, is going to be the main things that are going to go towards the development of our products. We look things at how much it's going to cost to create the molds for the product, as well as the materials that we use to create this. So this is going to go into finding a third party to outsource all of our printing, so we can go look at other places that can help create the molds for us, that can help us, for the least expensive way, create this mold, so we don't have to do this in our own basement.
I guess my question is, after $40,000 is spent,
yes,
how many cleats will actually be made?
Well, in that process, we're going to start making the molds for that. So at that time, we're going to use the leftover money that we have after creating our molds to help create the products, but I can't tell you the exact number of how many we'll actually have at the end of that time.
After this, we will actually follow up with you and discuss that. Okay, great.
Okay, it's our last and final group, which that was redundant, but we are excited to give you one last, so keep the energy up for these guys. They've been waiting all night to get their chance to pitch as well. So let's give a warm welcome to Light Blue.
Hi, I'm Gavin Bergman.
I'm Alex Luke.
I'm Ryan Tell. I'm Dan Hart.
And we're like Blue. Parents hate to admit it, but they lose their kids. My mom's probably going to have a heart attack when she hears the story again, but it was a busy day at Splish Splash, and yeah, my sister got lost in the crowds. It was a really stressful time. All I really remember was the fighting, the crying, and the screaming. Thank God a security guard found us and found our sister. But if only we could have an easy solution without having the stress of trying to find my sister. And that's where Likely comes in. So, the three problems we're really addressing: parents losing their children, children not having phones, and increased kidnappings.
Okay, so the way our product would work is, so the kid is wearing a bracelet, and the parent or guardian, they would go into the app, they would click on the bracelet that they want to track, and the app will show them their child's location in real time. In addition, they would receive an alert on their phone if the child's bracelet was removed.
So here's our prototype, and here's our app. So how our app works, it shows the name, the address that you're currently located, and tracks in real time. Now, here you can add multiple devices, and there's a beep function. So the beep function, once you press on it, it sends a signal directly to the child, and they will know that they're being tracked by the parents. This gives reassurance to both sides.
So now, here are a couple of little quirks. You can modify the name, modify the image of the tracker. And what I find pretty cool is that there's actually a silent region. Now, the silent region, if your child is within the vicinity of the silent region, the device will actually not sound. So this is perfect for if you're in church or in school and you don't want to make a lot of noise. And
we found a child.
So we will be targeting young families. This consists of young children, grandparents, because they want the best for their grandchildren, and they also, of course, protect their parents.
In 3 years, we plan on moving to wholesale selling, not really exiting our company, but making it more wide scale and selling it more towards amusement parks, bigger stadiums for concerts and sports games, and these will really be our first wholesale buyers, and that's where we want to end up in the future.
So our market size, our total addressable market, we researched there's around 24 million people, and this is children ages 2 through 9 in America.
So for our serviceable addressable market, we want to start off with a small niche group of buyers, people to market towards, because we're a startup and we want to provide the best possible customer service and develop our brand first. And that way our customers will spread the word and we'll have a solid foundation to grow from. So we're gonna market towards the 83,000 people on Long Island, ages 2 to 9, and their parents.
So for our MVP test, when we pitched to you back in December, we were actually stuck at a product that was really towards an older generation. And the reason we really pivoted was because we realized there wasn't a market for that older generation, and we had a bigger market going into younger kids because they don't have phones, and there's no really way to track them when they don't have an adult around, because that's who has the technology that can track them. So we learned really valuable things from our MVP test. So one, we made our prototype, and two, we added a feature which was recommended by someone we interviewed at the Bryant Park, that you get an alert when you take the bracelet off. And this is from heat sensitivity, so it really can detect whether it's on or not by detecting a child's body temperature.
Alright, so for some of our competitors, we have Apple, MyBuddyTag, and AngelSense. So Apple is the Apple Watch, but no parent would put a $300 watch that can track their children when they're playing around and lose it or break it. AngelSense, it's not really a watch per se, it's more like a tile that you put in like an article of clothing or a backpack, but that also can get lost when they're playing around at the park or just hanging out with friends. And BuddyTag is closest to our product, but the bracelet itself does not stay on the child's wrist, and it does not have our technology of the heat notification to the adult app.
We wanted something comfortable, inexpensive, and fashionable for our young kids to wear.
Alright, so we have on our bracelet two-way communication, and the way that works is if the child feels like they're stressed or there's a problem, they press a button on the device and it pings the app on the adult's phone. Works the other way around too. If the adult feels like they've lost their child or if there's a problem, they can ping the watch and they will both be happy. Like Abby said earlier, we have heat detection, which when the bracelet is removed, it notifies the adult the situation. So marketing, we will be going to mommy and me classes, nail and hair salons, and like a cold run, this is a hot chocolate run where we can set up a stand and get spread awareness to our product. And we will also be selling on our social media website.
So in terms of projected revenue, obviously we expect to make more as time goes on. You see an exponential growth in the revenue of our product. And from our 160 interviews that we conducted, we found that people are willing to pay for our product. And like what's $60 compared to your child's safety, right? And the reason that there's
a big market for this yet is because that people don't know that a product like this exists. They don't know the risks of losing a child. And that's where some of our competitors fail, I think. Had they marketed towards the right customers through the right channels, they would be making way more money right now, and they would be much more. So for our pricing model, we decided to have a transaction-based pricing model. We're going to sell each unit for $60, and it takes $16 to produce each. It'll have a profit margin of 73%. We actually switched from a subscription-based model because we feel that people will be paying more if we have a transaction-based model. So let's say you buy a product, and for the first 3 months, you don't lose your child. So obviously you'd be discouraged to continue renewing your subscription every month, right? But that's the thing, you don't know when you're going to lose your child. You don't want to lose your child after canceling your subscription. So we decided to just make it transaction-based. And we're going to charge a little more upfront, $60 instead of $40. And yeah. So for our capital ask, we're going to be asking for $50,000. We understand that's a lot of money, but we're both a hardware and a software company, so it's going to take a lot of money for administrative costs, development costs, marketing costs, and delivery, and a lot of legal stuff such as patents, IP addresses, and whatnot. We know that it's a lot of money, $50,000, but I assure you it's money well invested because there's so much potential for our company and this market.
So, like Boo, what we plan on doing next, we plan on selling our product to amusement parks, stadiums, concerts, and water parks. These areas have a lot of traffic, so it's easy to do the job. And we plan on contacting a lot of influencers so they can promote our products and spread awareness. And we, as Chris said, we plan on having one future. We plan on finalizing it. So when your child takes off the bracelet, it's noticed to the parents. So before we open the floor to questions, we'd like to say a big thank you to our mentor, Kathy Ritter, who's here with us tonight. And also a big thank you to our teacher, Steve Yetro. Everyone here tonight for supporting us. You guys really changed our mentality. We're a lot better team now. We're very hardworking, dedicated, and we're very passionate about our product. So we really want to see this through. And your children's safety is our #1 priority, so we want to keep it together like nothing. Thank you.
You guys are the most improved team of the year. I think you really have done an amazing job of taking a product that poorly defined, I think did not have a great market, to really being a contender and a team that has an amazing shot at winning, through the product and done some great research. You really should be very, very proud. My only comment to you guys is, I think your service market is small, is bigger than you think it is. I think you also should look at nursing homes for patients that may have Alzheimer's or other issues where people want to track them. I think that's a big market and an unfortunately growing market that your product would also be great for. Thank you.
The presentation was even tighter tonight than it was yesterday. Really. The only question I have is when you were conducting those interviews, what was the most surprising feedback that you got, or suggestions for this product when you guys were speaking to parents or people out there?
You know, it was really my opening line, and that was a quote from someone that I did an interview from. She goes, I asked her how many times she has lost her kid, 2 or more. One time she goes, I hate to admit it, but I lose my kids, so I'm just going to say 1 for now. So really, that was really helpful in us thinking that we did have a market for our product and wanting to continue along with it.
Hey guys, great job. And I think it really comes through how much you guys have grown throughout the year and come together. So I kind of have a big picture question, which is, if you were to give someone in the audience advice about taking this class or starting their own business, what would that be?
Pivot. I mean, we did a lot of research before we pivoted, and it really came down to logistics and research that we did. And we realized that we had more of an opportunity going down this path, and if we didn't pivot, we wouldn't be where we are today. So don't be afraid to take risks. So I think that's really important in the start of business world.
And also to add on, I feel like you need to be passionate. You really want to give your all for this company, because after all, this is our first time. So yeah, it's a learning experience for us all. So have fun.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so now comes the time where the Sharks are going to deliberate. So we left a shameless plug on the screen for volunteers for next year. So we're hoping to get even more people involved with both Incubator and Accelerator this year. So now the Sharks site can ask questions for every staff. We're going to go across the hallway for a little bit.